Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Josh, and I'm with Star Valley Capital. Star Valley Capital is my company, and we do custom software development, project management services, and just general consulting for software products. Today, I want to talk to everybody about a product that we're developing called Warren. So here we've got Warren Buffett. Um, Unfortunately for him, but fortunately for us, he's been assimilated by the Borg. So now all of his expert knowledge in investing has been transferred to the hive mind, to the computer, where we can use his knowledge to hopefully trade successfully. So Warren is an automated backtesting and algorithmic trading. That's really our tagline for what it does, and we'll get a lot more into that. First, I want to cover what problem Warren is is going to be trying to solve. So manually backtesting trading strategies takes a lot of time. People uh, can mess it up very easily, and mostly they're doing it with spreadsheets. How do I know this? Because I have done hours and hours and hours of manual back testing for trading strategies. And I have made errors, I have used spreadsheets, and I have spent a lot of time doing it. Automated back testing platforms, a lot of them, all the ones I could find, they really need you to be a programmer in order to put custom trading strategies and algorithms into their systems. And so for someone like me, that's not a problem. But not everybody in the world is a computer programmer. And definitely not every trader is a programmer. So Warren is going to try to bridge that gap. And lastly, automated trading platforms, also known as trading bots, they often fail to meet expectations. Uh, they will often Trading bots often promise the world and deliver a lot less than that. If you've ever looked into trading bots, they the marketing for them is great, but a lot of people have very mixed results when they're actually using trading bots to try to make money. So Warren is no code, and Warren is going to allow people to develop their own algorithms within the platform. They are going to be able to do automated back testing. And once they have an algorithm that they like, that they've back tested to prove to themselves that it's profitable, they're going to be able to automatically trade with that algorithm. Everything in one platform. How will we monetize Warren? Well, we have actually a few paths for how we can do this. The platform itself will be free, but users are going to pay for things that add value. So, for example, um, if you are able to develop your own algorithm in Warren, why should you have to keep it to yourself? You should be able to share it. Not only should you be able to share any algorithms that you've developed, any trading algorithms or indicators that you've developed, but you should also be able to lease those indicators and those algorithms to other people so that they can make money, but you can also make money for the work that you did. Another possible monetization avenue is data subscription tiers. So if you just want access to, for example, a specific instrument like SPY, that should cost less than asking for access to the entire S&P 500 historical data. So that's what we're talking about when we say data subscription tiers. Backtesting subscription tiers or pay per use. So if you're doing a little bit of backtesting, again, and you're not using a lot of compute in the system, again, you should pay less than somebody who is heavily using back testing compute resources when they're back testing. Fourth avenue is API access. Uh, so what we might have going on here is actually, and we'll cover this a little bit more soon, but all of the algorithms are actually independent containerized services in Warren. So if somebody wants to actually build their own trading bot and they don't need all the platform has to offer and they just want to hit our services that are trading algorithms, then we need to have an option for that too. And of course, there will be some sort of fee to pay in order to access our APIs. White label licensing. So this is going to be for brokerage firms or hedge funds who want their own custom version of Warren for their quants or their analysts or anybody else to use. And then finally, professional services. So these are people who may just not know how to design a trading algorithm and they may want our help doing it. And so we'll be happy to help people develop and deploy their own algorithms. So those are the six kind of main monetization strategies for the future of Warren when it eventually gets released. Talk a little bit about project phases. So there's 6 phases. We're in phase 1 right now, which is developing the core back testing engine. Phase 2 is we're going to go live with algorithmic trading based on hard coded algorithms that have been back tested and evaluated for profitability. Phase 3 is when is we are going to watch how the bot behaves. So the bot will be paper trading before it does anything. So we're going to watch the bot for a while, and we're going to look for edge cases, bugs, crazy issues that you would not want to happen when there's actual money on the line. And we will also tune any algorithms that the bot's running here too to try to make it more profitable. Phase 4 gets a little bit more complicated. This is LLM, large language model integration for trading algorithm development. So this is when we say Warren is a no-code platform for developing trading algorithms. This is really the heart of that. The user is going to describe the trading algorithm, and the LLM is going to translate the user's description into a service, and then the user is going to be able to test that service and evaluate the LLM's accuracy in translating their plain language description to actual code. So there'll be a lot of testing here to make sure that the user's happy with what the LLM comes up with before they ever deploy their algorithm in the system. Phase 5 is scaling so that we're ready for actual users in the system. Phase 6 is the marketplace that we talked about in the previous slide. That was the first monetization strategy. So phase 6 is the development of that marketplace where people can buy, rent, and lease algorithms, and also be able to provide proof of profitability through the use of the core backtesting engine, so that the people who lease these algorithms have some confidence in spending money. So those are the 6 phases of the project, and we are currently in phase 1. This is very early into the project. Here's our schedule. So phase 1, we expect to be done no later than end of this year. We are in Q4 2025 as we talk. I ideally want to be done with phase 1 well before end of Q4 2025 because I really want to try to stick phase 2 going live with the trading bot, paper trading. I want phase 2 to kind of try to fit in here too. But right now we have it as phase 1 end of this year, phase 2 and 3, first quarter next year, then LLM integration quarter 2 next year, multi-user scaling quarter 3. Our MVP release for this product for Warren is end of Q3 26, beginning of Q4 26. Then our marketplace is end of Q4 26. So this is where we are right now on the schedule. And this is under solo development. So if I can get some people to help on this project, this schedule should shrink this way. I want to talk a little bit about Warren's architecture for people who are more technically minded. We are Warren is a model-driven microservice architecture. It's currently deployed on Railway. The services talk to each other via fast API. Each service contains a pedantic model of the data that it processes that is accessible by other services via the backtest orchestrator. So what does that mean? So if I'm the dashboard and the user in the dashboard really needs to configure some part of a numbered candle stop loss algorithm service, then what the dashboard's going to do is it's going to tell the backtest orchestrator, hey, the user needs to configure something for the numbered candle stop loss algorithm service. The backtest orchestrator is going to go, okay, no problem. The backtest orchestrator is going to hit the number candle stop loss algorithms service and say, hey, I need your model. That service returns that model to the backtest orchestrator, which returns it to the dashboard so that the user can initialize some settings that are needed in order for this service, to actually do what it needs to do. So we'll go a little bit more into that here, I think, in the next slide. Okay, so this is a sequence diagram of how backtesting works, and most of this is programmed, but some of it still needs to be implemented, and this is what I'm actually really working on right now. So we start out with the user accessing the dashboard. The user says to the dashboard, please let me in. The dashboard says, okay, well, log in. So the user is going to put their username and password to log in, like you do with many other web apps. And the backtesting dashboard is handling that authentication right now. So this is not actually how it's going to be in production. It's going to be much more robust and secure, but this is what I'm doing right now for the prototype, because nobody's accessing this except for me. When there are more users in the future, we will not be doing authentication, client side right inside the app. We'll be doing it a better way. So once the user's in, the backtesting dashboard says, okay, you're in. I'm going to display myself to you now. So the user's now looking at the dashboard they've authenticated in. And the dashboard, what it does is it requests a few things that it needs, because the user is going to input those things into the dashboard. So it's going to be requesting a core backtest settings model, a risk management model, and that is actually, and it's also going to be requesting something that we'll cover in 1 second. So it needs the core backtest model and the risk management model so that the user can set the core backtest settings and the risk management settings. We will look at what that looks like actually in a second. So when the request goes out, the backtest orchestrator, the dashboard will tell the backtest orchestrator, hey, I need the core backtest settings model and I need the risk management model. The backtest orchestrator will say, no problem. The backtest orchestrator will go to the trade simulator service for the risk management model, because the trade simulator is what manages trades that are taken during backtesting. Trade simulator model will return the risk management model for the user to fill out in the dashboard. And then the dashboard will reach out to the backtest orchestrator and it will ask for something called the algorithm catalog. And the algorithm catalog is a list of available algorithms and indicators that the user can use in their backtest. so once, and so the backtest orchestrator, once it's received a request for the algorithm catalog, it returns the algorithm catalog and it shows the user what algorithms and indicators they are allowed to choose from. So there are three different types of algorithms in our system. There are signal algorithms, which tell you when to enter a trade. There are stop loss algorithms, which govern how much money you're going to be allowed to lose before you're out of the trade. And there are take profit algorithms, which govern how much money you are going to make before you are out of a trade. And then, of course, indicators themselves are basically little helpers that give you more information about what's going on with with the instrument that you're trading. These will be things like the 9 candle and 21 candle exponential moving average, things like that, little data helpers. Okay, so back to our dashboard. So now at this point, the user has entered, has accessed the dashboard, can see the dashboard. They can see all the settings that they need to input, that they need to configure for the core backtest and for their risk management. And they can see all the list of the algorithms that are available to them, and they will be able to choose from each one of those lists. That is signal, stop loss, take profit indicators. So they'll be able to choose from a drop down for all four of those. So now the user is ready to configure the core backtest model instance. So the core backtest settings and the core backtest configuration model instance are really the same thing. So the user is going to fill out these core backtest settings and then validate them against the model that the backtest orchestrator fetched for the dashboard. And once once everything is good there, they're going to select a signal algorithm and the from the drop down from the algorithm catalog. And when they select a specific algorithm from the algorithm catalog, that the backtest orchestrator is going to reach out to that particular signal algorithm and it's going to ask it for its model so that the UI, the dashboard, knows what to render and what to prompt the user to fill out because these algorithms all kind of have individualistic settings. So once we're there, um, once the user has filled out the core backtest settings, the risk management settings, and all the settings that accompany the algorithms that the user has chosen, they will run the backtest. Before the backtest is run, the dashboard will validate everything that the users put in there so that we don't get errors thrown at us when we're backtesting. We find out there's a problem early and the user can correct it before we start computing. And once that is going, then once the backtest is running, then the backtest orchestrator first really reaches out to the market data manager. The market data manager, that's its job. It manages market data. And it is the only thing that can communicate with the database where the historical backtesting data actually is. So it gets a request, it gets the data for the backtest. It returns the data for that backtest to the backtest orchestrator because this is the service that's really in charge of managing the backtest. And the backtest orchestrator says, okay, I have now received data from the market data manager, It's time for me to send the data that I got to the signal algorithm so that the signal algorithm can look at each piece of market data and identify whether that piece has a signal to enter a trade. So that's how that works. So once we have the signals, the backtest orchestrator goes to the stop loss algorithm that the user has chosen. And for every signal, the stop loss algorithm provides a location where if a trade was taken on that signal, this is where it would have its stop loss. It's the same principle for take profit. And that, in a really quick nutshell, is how the backtest system is going to be working. So, where are we? Where is Warren right now? Warren is deployed to prod. And our prod is on Railway. There is a test database with limited historical data, and that is right now we have 1 year of SPY in 1 minute candle form. So I believe a few 100,000 rows of data that we can test. Microservices are talking to each other when they need to, and the backtesting engine is nearing completion, expecting that this is going to be done in the next few weeks, and then going to be immediately moving to live trading, which will use the same algorithms that the backtest orchestrator uses to test them. So before we sign off here, I want to show everyone uh, uh, Warren, what we have up right now. So let me log out. So this right here is our kind of our rudimentary auth. And once we are in the app, the first thing that we are prompted to do, as we discussed in the sequence diagram, is we are asked to fill out the core backtest settings. So right now we only have SPY in our test database, and the lowest resolution that we have for our data is 1 minute. But I think I'm going to actually get some more data that goes down to a 1 second resolution. So I'm going to try to do that to kind of enhance the robustness of our test database. But right now the data is just 1 minute. So you can test on the 1 minute time frame, or you can test on these other time frames as well. 5 minutes, for example, is very popular with day trading, and they all really are pretty popular. 5 minutes personally is what I'm usually on when day trading. And you can set this, the user can set the start date and the end date. So we have 1 year of SPY data. That's September 6th, 24 to September 5th, 25. That's the actual date range of our data. And these sliders can narrow that range. So if I take a slider from the end date and I try to push it past earlier than 2/5/25, then you'll see that this slider actually adjusts, and I'll show you how that works right now. So now we're approaching 2/5/25, and now the other slider on the left is moving back to make sure that this field is validated, that our end date is never before our start date. And the time actually works the same way on here. So if I push the slider back to the left, you can see the smallest unit of time that we can backtest is literally 1 minute on 12/17/2024. Okay. So, and here's another handy thing that we have is you can actually do quick filters on the time. A lot of people, they want to test a strategy during market hours, or maybe pre-market, or maybe after hours, or maybe they want to test every second the that this instrument is being traded. And then we have an option for allow concurrent trades, which means the trade simulator will act as if it is really trading. And so if it is already in a trade, it is not going to enter another trade. It's going to wait until it's out of a trade. Or you can or you can backtest every single trading opportunity that existed in the time frame that you define as a user. So once we're ready with our backtest, um, we click next and we validate. And so you'll see that when we click next, this the dashboard actually validated these settings with the model that it received from the backtest orchestrator. And also, what happens in this validation is in the core backtest settings validation, also what happens is we reach out, the dashboard reaches out to the backtest orchestrator, which reaches out to the market data manager, and the market data manager reaches out to the database just to make sure that there is actually data between the dates and times that you have asked for as a user. So after that, and this is where we're not wired up yet, but we will be wired up shortly, the backtest orchestrator will provide an algorithm catalog, and you'll be able to look at all the signal algorithms right here, and you'll be able to select one. And when you select one, it will offer you the custom parameters of that signal algorithm that you need to configure before you do your backtest, and that will be kind of right here. Then, yeah, right. So this thing's already trying to validate. We didn't select a signal algorithm because we don't have access to the algorithm catalog yet, but we will soon. Stop loss algorithm, same principle here. Take profit algorithm, exact same as these two. And I believe indicators is also the same with one exception. One exception to indicators is that you, for example, you will only be able to backtest one signal algorithm, one stop loss, and one take profit algorithm at a time. Otherwise, they would conflict with each other and throw everything off. But with indicators, you will be able to test multiple indicators. And what the trade simulator will do when it is making a decision about how to enter a trade is the trade simulator will ask the signal algorithm, do you have a signal? The signal algorithm will say, yes, I do. Then it will ask all of the indicators, do you concur? Do you also have a signal that we should enter this trade? And if they don't all agree, then the trade doesn't get taken. So what an indicator will always do is it will always narrow down the pool of available trades for whatever algorithms, for whatever trading algorithms you are backtesting. So if you're using an indicator like 9 and 21 crossover, if you have a signal algorithm that says, yep, enter the trade, and the indicator says, well, the 9 and the 21 didn't cross, then the trade won't be taken by the trade simulator. Okay, so risk management settings. This is pretty standard stuff. You decide when you're back testing, what the starting balance is of your account, what you'd like to risk per trade. I think you can also do a percentage of account balance. So you'll be able to do percentage or dollar risk. You'll be able to determine. You'll be able to simulate what you might get charged per trade. You'll be able to simulate slippage, and you'll be able to declare what a daily loss limit is. So if the trade simulator takes 3 trades at $100 risk per trade and loses every single trade in that day, then your daily loss limit will kick in and it will just go to the next day of data and it won't trade anymore for that day's data. And finally, this is where you will actually run the back test. There's a lot of validation that needs to happen before you can do that. So the system is telling us, well, I need a signal algorithm, and it absolutely does in order to backtest. And then it's telling us that its signal algorithm validation failed, and that is because we don't have access to the algorithm catalog yet, and we were not able to select an algorithm. But in the future, we will be able to select an algorithm and this will all verify. You'll click run back test and the visualized results of the back test. So line graphs, really whatever way you can imagine that's going to be good to visualize the results of your back test will all be right here. And we're going to add a feature where you can export it maybe to PDF or as an image or something so that you can share it with people. We have a day and a night mode also. Sidebar collapses and expands to tell you what's going on. And that's it. That's where we are right now. So we're still in phase one of the project. But if you are interested in working on Warren, or if you are interested in using Warren once we've completed developing the product, then please feel free to reach out to me. You can get in contact with me a number of ways. You can find me on Discord. So if you go to my site, which is starvalley.dev, starvalley.dev, you'll see right here. This is the splash page. A little bit about who I am and what I do and what I want to work on. You'll see data about what I can do, things that I like to do, things that I like to work on. And if you don't like graphs, which is okay, because a lot of people don't like graphs, they can be a little bit confusing, then you can look at that in list view as well. And you can make it bigger and smaller and all sorts of cool stuff. You can also see more about projects that I've done on my website. These are two enterprise projects that I've worked. Warren is my personal company project for Star Valley Capital. And yeah, and you can view this slide deck right in the website, or you can read like a quick executive briefing on it, whatever's easier for you. And yeah, if you want to get in contact with me, click the Let's Talk button on my website. You can text me, you can call me, you can email me, or you can hit me up on Discord, whatever is easier for you. Thanks for listening to this presentation. I hope that it was interesting. And if anything like this interests you, or if you think there's some way that I can help your business, or if you want to hire me, please reach out. I'd love to talk. Thank you.